Okay. Okay. Let's just wait a little bit. Um, we're at your neck like a violin. Hello, Kaden Coles Stock. Hello, Hitana Guerrero. How y'all doing? Good. Hello, Kylie. Love the food. My name is William Mankett. Hello, Brandon Jones. Yeah. Yeah, thank you, Etana Guerrero. Okay, so Piers Morgan today made a video responding to Ben Shapiro. And Piers Morgan is 100% correct. Because when you bring on these people that Ben Shapiro referred to, okay, when Piers Morgan brings on hosts where Ben Shapiro referred to them as Nazis, Piers Morgan is actually being a journalist. He actually challenged the people who he interviewed. Okay, Joseph Carmuche. So When I rewatched the Nick Fuentes and Pierce Morgan interview, the only moments that I feel like Nick Pierce Morgan looked bad. Thank you, Joseph Carmouche, for subbing. Hello, absolutely. The only moment Pierce Morgan looked bad on that debate slash interview that they had was when Pierce Morgan did not understand crime per capita. The portion in the debate, the section in the debate that they talked about whether black people commit more violent crime than white people, and Pierce Morgan did not understand crime per capita. That was the only time Pierce Morgan looked bad on that debate. Outside of that, I think Pierce Morgan did a good job. And I disagree with Steven Crowder. I disagree with Andrew Wilson. I disagree with Pierre Davis, who think that Pierce Morgan, that Nick Fuentes destroyed Pierce Morgan. Pierce Morgan triggered Nick Fuentes. So Pierce Morgan triggered Nick Fuentes. Nick Fuentes always say, I don't like when people go after my family, but Pierce Morgan is reporting what he said on his Rumble live stream. Look, yeah. Super Kali Fragili. I don't know what you mean to shifty GT. Am I a rapper? No, I am not a rapper. Happy life. So, so 2 days ago I made that hello Christina Meyer 1491. Yesterday I made that video. I think Pierce Morgan did really well on his interviews slash debate against Nick Fuentes. Nick Fuentes got triggered. And Pierce Morgan caught Nick Fuentes contradicting himself. He said everyone is racist, but his father is not racist. Like, thank you for subscribing, Mary Kershaw. We are at your neck like a violin. So, Ben Shapiro, I wonder if Megan Kelly will invite Candace Owen in her podcast because Megan Kelly said her and Candace Owen got closer and closer. So I wonder if Megan Kelly will invite her in her podcast. I don't think Megan Kelly and Candace Owen had a podcast together, like a YouTube um, interview style podcast. They only interacted in 2020, but that was in Spotify. I can only you can only listen to the interview on Spotify. There's no physical video with them together. The 48th president of the United States. Who is it going to be? Hello, Becky Howard. Okay, thank you. And Leo Official. I wonder if the Daily Wire will ever be successful again. Back in December, I remember I made a video where Boring um, lay out the reason why they fired Candace Owens. I see them in a positive light, but it still does not change the fact that the company is tanking. Even though I view them in a positive light ever since there was a video of Jeremy Boring laying out the reason why they fired Candace Owens. But the Daily Wire did make Brett Cooper. They wrote a script. They promoted her. They advertised her. She's a useful tool for for the conservative, such as bringing on Gen Z. So, John Stewart. Okay, so what I also want to say is what matters first the most is if people like your content, if people like your analysis, the way how you summarize the news, summarize the topic that you're covering, and what matters second is views and clicks. So if people really enjoy your content, that's what matters first the most, and second is the views and clicks. There are YouTubers who I think are grifters. Like for example, I think Crystal Avalis is a grifter. The dude has no talking point. He has no analysis. All he does is use scary tactics to get people to watch his content while he barely formulates any kind of arguments on any of his videos. 10 to 11 of those minutes on his videos consist of him playing different clips of CNN and MSNBC. So him, I think he's a grifter. He just what he care about is getting the most clicks. His audience, Crystal Avalis' audience, they don't really critically think because most people on a lot of people on this audience, they don't see past the thumbnails and the clickbait titles. Because if they were like me, they saw past the thumbnails and the clickbait titles, they will realize there's really nothing special. But what should matter to you if you are a political commentator is content, if people actually enjoy your content, and then views and subscription goes next. So, for example, I like Piers Morgan on Censors because I like these interview that he's having, and I like the debate that he is hosting. and I enjoy his show. And the viewerships is pretty good. Brian Tyler Cohen. I am not a fan of Brian Tyler Cohen, but I would much rather watch his content than Hello Nick Lafrage. I would much rather I would much rather watch Brian Tyler Cohen's content over any of the content Crystal Avalis. I would much rather watch Brian Tyler Cohen content than Crystal Avalis content. Because I am doing good, Nick Lafrage. Because Brian Tyler Cohen content is informative. They talked about the Trump administration, losses in courts, and so forth. This is informative. It is way more informative than the garbage Crystal Avalis put out on the internet. Because Crystal Avalis, it's MSNBC and CNN that does analysis for him for majority of his videos. It is not him um, putting the work, making great points. So being informative come first, and second is subscription and views. Yes, I will have a good night, Nick Lafrage. So there's nothing informative in Crystal Avali's content, and I can just say that without even watching any of his videos. Hello, Gaming with Trisha. I'm about to wrap it up. Good night.